This shub right away realizes that he's in an unholy place. And he realized why Reb Mendele was warning him. And she asked him if there's anyone else in the room currently, because she wanted to tell him a secret. I have one word of advice for you. You have to make sure that you don't eat anything here. Because if you do taste something, you're gonna have to stay here forever. Everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. This story is for the coming Parsha Hazinu. It mentions Shadim, mentions demons.
Oh man!
This is one of those stories that you don't tell kids before bedtime, but we're telling.
Unless you're that kind of kid.
We're telling our kids before bedtime. Anyway, so so I heard the story from my father when I was a kid. And there was like two details that were a little bit different, but overall it's the same thing. First of all, we're going to take a quick break to ask Yudel a question. What does the shub mean?
Chasidic, a ritual slaughterer.
All right. So in the outer room of the Tzemach Tzedek, there were some Chasidim who were farbringing, right? And there was Tzemach Tzedek is the third Rebbe of Lubavitch.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vadi. And there was a small single candle lit, and they were talking about Chassidus, and they were telling stories of tzaddikim. And all of a sudden, Tzemach Tzedek walks out of his room, and he asked them, "What tzaddik are they talking about?" And they said, "They're talking about Reb Mendel Haradoker or Reb Mendel Vitebsker." Right? But he was in different times in different places. I know, just. Whatever, he's called different things.
In different places, he was referred
he was
to
either
as
referred to
either or
Gandalf the Grey. There's many different names. Many different
man. Okay, so Tzemach Tzedek said, okay, so when you speak about such a tzaddik like Reb Mendele, you have to light many candles, not only one candle, because he was really a great tzaddik and true light. So right away they brought many candles, and the whole house was, the whole room was filled with light. And the Tzemach Tzedek actually sat with the Chassidim, and he said, "Let me tell you a story about Reb Mendele. In Haradok there was a Shoichet and Boydek, a Shub. We're going to call him Shub from now on, okay? He was a big Talmud Chacham and a Chassid, and Reb Mendele told him that he should be very careful because the Chitzonim...
I call him Shubidu.
You can call him Shubidu, no problem.
A lot of shenanigans this video.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Just the shenanigans are coming from people who refuse to be on film. Either be on film or Schweigzach. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You're asking for it so bad right now.
I will say that I one time made a cameo appearance, and then this past week someone asked me, "Do you tell stories on YouTube?" I saw a picture of you.
Look at that. Okay.
You're famous.
Fine. So why should he? So the Mendele told him to be careful. Why? Because the Chitzonim are the Klippos are running after him. What is that? Whatever that means, right? The evil forces, they want to get him. Because obviously he was a very special person. If they can get him, then they're going to get the sustenance from him. And he didn't really pay attention. And when the Mendele realized he wasn't paying attention, he kept on warning him about this. So one time...
Who was a Mendele?
Reb Mendele Haradoker. He was a Rebbe.
Or a Mendele Vitebsk.
Or a Mendele Vitebsk, yeah. He was a certain Rebbe. He was a Talmud of the Maggid.
And he was also the Alter Rebbe's Rebbe.
Oh, okay, right. I knew that. Yeah, okay.
Was Alter Rebbe's Rebbe?
Yeah, the Alter Rebbe had...
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yo,
He also was Makabel.
It's the same person?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he went to Eretz Yisrael.
That's some bragging rights right there, bro.
Yeah. So and now, one time, this Sheikh Boydek, he was also a Moihel. So one time he was invited to go to a village that was nearby to give a bris to one of the sons of the Yidden over there. He goes in a wagon, and right after the wagon leaves the city, the wagon right away goes off into the forests. And the Shub realizes that he's going not on the right way, and he asked the Balagala, are you going in the wrong way? And he said, "Don't worry, we're going to get there soon." And they're going in really thick forests and going over hills, and all of a sudden they come to a house and they get off. And this Shub right away realizes that he's in an unholy place. And he realized why Reb Mendele was warning him. And he regretted why he didn't listen, but it was too late. he was already there. And they went into the house, and people over there showed the shub, the child that needed to be born. Now,
Needed to be born.
sorry, the child that needed to have a bris milah. The reason I said that was because I was about to say, my father, when he told me the story, it was a little bit different, that there was someone who was having a hard time giving birth, and for whatever reason, something to do with, either he was there and he was given a note to help someone else. I don't know what it was, but there was another detail that connected him to evil, forces even more, to klippas even more. But I don't choose. I'm not going to go further into that because I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was a little bit different. Anyway, so the mother of the child sees him, and she was very shaken, and she asked him if there's anyone else in the room currently, because she wanted to tell him a secret. And when he said there's no one else there, she started to cry very bitterly, and she said that there's a few years already that she's stuck here, and this is a place that belongs to the chitzonim, which means to klippas, to impure forces, and she can't leave. And the leader of these entities, whatever that is, lives with her, and now that she had a child and she's a yid, she wants to make a bris milah, and they let her do it. And she warned him, saying like, know where you are, know what this place is, and I have one word of advice for you. You have to make sure that you don't eat anything here. Don't taste or put anything in your mouth, and only then do you have any hope of escaping. Because if you do taste something, you're going to have to stay here forever. This is some spooky stuff. Now, so that night, many wagons came and thousands of people came, and they brought delicacies. They smelled so good that it was very hard for anybody to be able to hold himself back. Everybody ate, and they asked him to eat, but he made a bunch of different excuses why he couldn't eat. In the morning, again, thousands of people came, and the shub, he did the bris. He performed the bris, and after the bris, again, they sat down to eat, and they brought a lot of delicacies, and they asked him to eat because it's a tzudas mitzvah. And even though he was extremely hungry, he held back, and he put all his effort to avoid eating. After the suda, the moyel asked that they should bring him back to his house, and they brought him back. And now, Rav Mendele Haradoker, he told his people that when the shub comes, he can't come to his shul. He's not going to allow him in. And that the Rebbe said that he should, in these words, say Tamerlei, go out impure person or impure thing. And the shub, obviously, when he comes to the city, he wants to right away see Reb Mendel. And they chased him away, and they told him exactly what the Rebbe said. And he was very, very, very pained by this. He didn't want to be severed from his connection with the Rebbe. And he tried to ask many, many people, through many important people, he tried to get into the Rebbe, until finally he let him in. Now, my father tells me the story, actually. He said that he was crying bitterly. He was hitting his head against the wall out of frustration. He was so pained that the Rebbe wouldn't let him in. And the Rebbe sent him a message through somebody else. But in this story, it says that Reb Mendele let him in eventually. And Reb Mendele told him like this: I warned you many, many times, and you didn't listen to me. And I was very pained to know that they already chapped you. And I davened for you a lot that you shouldn't, chas v'shalom, be lost by them. But know that you're still in danger, because they still want to chap you. And this time, if they catch you, who knows if you can escape. But I have one piece of advice for you. If they ask you to come one more time, don't decline, go. And when you go, tell the leader amongst them with complete bittul. Right? Tell him totally, without any fear, you are nothing. Tell him in his face, you are nothing. And that's what you should tell everybody who's there.
He should be mevatel, should nullify them, not he should have.
Right. Yeah, sorry. Meaning, I guess with the intent to totally nullify them, say you're nothing. That's what you should say. And that's going to be your tikkun. That's how you can get fixed and get out of this. And you're going to have many, many nisyonis. It's going to be very, very hard for you to do this. And we'll see later because it's very scary. But be strong and connect yourself to me. And then you'll have, I guess it means to connect to machshava, right? Connect your thoughts to me, think about me. And you'll have the strength to surpass it. And after you mevatel them, after you nullify them, you will be rid of them forever. So some time passed, and he gets another house call from these impure things. So he comes to the Mendel, Hadakar to get a bracha to go, and the Mendel gave him a bracha that he should be matzliach and that he should come back in peace, and he goes on his way. And when he comes there, right away he tells all of them, "You are nothing. You are absolutely nothing." And they all start to laugh. And he says the same thing. He says, "You are 100% nothing." And so they hear this and they go into the leader and they tell him that what he's saying to all of them. So he right away told them they should all gather in the house and they should bring the shub to the leader. And we'll see if he'll be able to say this. So right away they spread the word. Everyone should be there and with the leader, and they brought the shub there and they brought him right next to the leader. And he continues saying the shub. He says, "Ein atem klum, you're nothing." So right away the leader whistles, and all of a sudden all of them brought out, what's Zika H? Zika is flames?
It's like flames or sparks.
And right away out of their mouths, sparks or flames of fire come out, and they reached right until the body of the shub. And obviously he was very, very scared, but he kept on saying, "You are nothing." And they tried to scare him with all types of different things. My father told me this story. He said they made themselves look like monsters. They were all deformed. It was a very, very scary thing. And my father actually told me, I remember this so clearly, this part. He said he closed his eyes and just kept on saying, "You're nothing, you're nothing, you're nothing." And he wouldn't stop. And he saw that as the time went, the more he would say this, the less of these things were there. The less of these shadim were left in the house. They were like disappearing or they were going away. And the leader yelled at him with a loud roar. He said, "How do you have the chutzpah to speak like that to me? How do you have the chutzpah to say words of nullification to me like that? You know that in a second I can take you from this world and put you in a place where you can never leave ever again." So the Shuv answers, "You should know that it's not with my own power that I'm able to stand up against you. It's with the power of my master and Rebbe, of Mendel Hadakar." So when the leader heard this, he tells his people, in my room over there, I have a notebook. And over there is written the names of all the Rebbes and the things they've done and the things they said and all the Torah they said from when they were born. These, basically, the list of people were people who he caught somehow. They stumbled somehow. "Bring me the notebooks," he says, "and if Mendel Hadakar's name is there, then this guy has no hope. But if not, then we have to let go of him, and we have to let him go, and we can't bother him." So they right away went to the room. They brought the notebooks, and he opened them, and he looked through it everywhere. They looked, and they could not find. And so he said, "Rav Mendel Hadakar is not written over here," and they had to let him go. And when he got back home, he went straight to the Mendel, and Mendel, he welcomed him very happily, and he said, "From now on, Ata Shalom V'Vischa Shalom, right? You'll be fully in peace." And when the Tzemach Tzedek finished the story, he said, "Because of this, I told you to light many, many candles, because Rav Mendel was a true tzaddik and a true light." Anyway, so this is a story of Mendel Hadakar. We should strengthen our iskashus with our Rebbe as much as we can, and that will bring us many yeshuas. We should see miracles in our lives, and we should have a gmar chesima tova, and we zeichet to all the brachas of the Torah. B'galoi, the matmes hartzvachim, a good tvach. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you everybody for watching. What a story!
What happened to the lady and the half-demon blood baby?
That's a good question. I don't know. Sushi. 10% off Tzama gear.
Mention us.
I want to thank today's sponsor.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Where's my seltzer? Hello. Seltzer.
Mandatory.
Must be in the shot. It's okay.
Smush seltzer.
We accept all types.
Excuse me, guys, why?
Yes. You was paired on my sale.
See how I did the bottoms?
Yes, Vadi. Should we?
This is how it's done.
Should we
people.
point the camera at you, Vadi?
No.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not. This is trolling.
Get your hands out, man.
This is troll. This is just trolling. This is in case the sushi, like you don't want to give a splinter to your food if it reaches out and says, "Don't eat me, don't eat me."
Well,
Yes.
now your fingers have covered
You
it.
want
So.
to
Don't tell pizza.
Yes, it's empty.
Yossi.
That was just for comic effect.